Good evening, sir. How are you?
Good, how about yourself? Can you hear me fine?
Yes, sir.
Awesome.
Okay. So, first of all, I'll introduce you guys with Kuntal. So, he is the first vegan mountaineer to climb the Mount Everest, and also he is the first person to climb Mount Everest with 100% animal-free clothing and equipments and everything. Am I right, sir?
Yes.
Sir, talking about your mountaineering journey, and you were engineer before being a mountaineer. So, is mountaineering was there when you were doing engineering, or it came later in your life?
So let me first begin with sort of addressing your piece about first vegan mountaineer. Now, it's
Sure.
really tricky because Nepal government or the Chinese government, where Everest is, they are really not recording people, what they are eating, what they are wearing. So officially, it's really non-trivial to sort of say that I am the first vegan in the world to climb Everest or do this, that. It's just tricky because that's simply not being recorded. It's something that you research, you check around, you look at all the mountaineering history, and you see what people have done. And based on that sort of what I figured out, now that that is out of the way, uh, was mountaineering always in my life? Heck no, I'm not. I'm not a mountaineer. I'm from a technology background. I'm a software engineer, and that is where my real passion lies. I wrote my first piece of software code back in 1993 when the computer TVs were the size of, like, they were gigantic. We had, like, I still remember, 512 KB floppy disks. And today we have 128 GB small disks. And that time we had like a gigantic 512 KB disk. So I that sort of world, and that's where sort of my my relationship with passion began to be, if I had to put it in words.
Okay.
Because sometimes you are a kid and you don't really understand what passion means, or you are a teenager and you don't really understand what passion
100%.
means. And maybe I didn't know that technology was my passion. Maybe I just really enjoyed it, and I thought maybe I should pursue it further. So I went and I did my science, and then I did my engineering, and I did engineering fairly well. I survived. I graduated. I didn't get a single KT, and eventually I sort of ended up. Yeah, I was
Yes.
just talking about essentially how my journey with technology continued and how I stayed on track with technology. And something a lot of people ask me, that how do you sort of find your passion, or how do you know something is your passion? So I think at some point you discover that you really enjoy doing something, and then if you are able to sustain it for much longer and do it and get that same level of mental satisfaction out of it, I think that truly is possibly your passion. I wrote my first piece of code in 1993, and today it's what, 2020, so it's been 27 years that I've been in
Wow.
some way connected with the technology field, and I've done something related to coding all the time. And I may not say that technology is my number one passion of life, but it is definitely there. It's still a passion, and yeah. So that's where sort of the whole thing started. Mountaineering. I was a super lazy guy, so mountaineering was not in my life. It's not like I was. अगर कोई मुझे ट्रैक पे इनवाइट करता, then I would say कि अरे let's go on the trek. I would be the last guy to get invited to a trek. I would be the last guy to join the trek, and if I ended up joining the trek, I would be the last guy to reach the top. Most likely, I would not even reach the top. So, in that sense, mountains were not in my life. I don't think I enjoyed physical activity so much. Uh, but I remember this one instance. I was sitting in my office in Los Angeles, and I was 25 at that point. And my boss, who was 30 years older than me, he walked in, and he walked in with the cycle on his shoulders, with, he's like lean, mean, cycle on his shoulders, and he's like this amazingly ripped guy. And here I am, I'm 30 years younger, and I am completely out of shape. At that point, I was obese because I was like 105, 106 kgs.
Oh.
And I looked at him and I'm like, man, this is unreal. This guy 30 साल बड़ा है मेरे से, और मेरी मुझे मतलब शर्म आनी चाहिए ये सब देख के. So at that point, I think the first sort of thing about physical fitness came into my mind. That very moment, I told my boss I want to buy a cycle, and it was just on a whim. He said, "Okay, I will take you tomorrow, and we'll buy a cycle." So both of us went, and we bought a cycle. And the next day, I said, "I'm going to come to work on a cycle." So I came to work on a cycle. I huffed and puffed my way. I think it was about 15 kilometers, and it took me like 1 hour. Today, today that much would only take me 20 minutes, but that time I was so unfit. But I continued with cycling for quite a bit long. I'm not going to go into details of this. I had a bad accident, and I had some bruised ribs, close to broken ribs probably. Luckily, I survived out of it, and but that was the end of cycling for me, sort of in all ways. But I said that was also my sort of my start of my fitness journey. So again, mountains were still nowhere around. I think mountains was completely by chance that I discovered mountains, that I discovered that I love mountains. So it was like एक चांस बोलते ना, लाइक मैं और मेरी वाइफ बैठे थे एंड वी वर लाइक प्लानिंग आवर नेक्स्ट वेकेशन, एंड वी लाइक कहाँ जाना चाहिए, what should our activity be. Most typically, most couples around January February in India, they will choose Goa. They're like, अरे गोवा सुपर
Yeah.
है, गोवा में बीच है, इट्स नॉट वेरी कोल्ड, यू कैन एंजॉय योर टाइम. एंड वी वर लाइक नहीं नहीं, हमें ठंडी में जाना है, हमें बर्फ देखना है. And almost on a whim, we said, "चलो शिमला जाते हैं फरवरी में." We went online, we booked our hotel, we booked our trip, flight का ticket निकाल दिया, and that's how sort of the journey sort of kicked off, falling in love with the mountains. I think that Shimla trip was like a game changer for me in some ways in my life. So yeah.
Great, great. And also, I've heard that when you reach, you were like you went with your taxi driver to a certain point where there was, I think, 1.5 meters snow, and then you were like, I want to reach the top, and that moment, your love towards mountain arose.
See, I think it was not 1.5 meters. 1.5 meters would be really high. It would be higher than, it would almost be my height. I think it was about 1.5 feet or so. I think we were in like a Maruti Zen, and Maruti Zen, of course, would have never kind of like gone on that terrain. So हमारे ड्राइवर ने गिव अप कर दिया. ही इज लाइक थोड़ा बहुत स्नो पे चला है, अभी आप जाओ चलो. योर एंड ऑब्जेक्ट, सी आर ऑब्जेक्टिव ऑफ द ट्रिप वाज दैट हमें स्नो को देखना था. एंड द टैक्सी ड्राइवर वॉज स्नो देख लिया. अब तुम्हें क्यों यहाँ टाइम वेस्ट करना, चलो भी यहाँ से निकलते. इट्स लाइक टैक्सी ड्राइवर वाज आल्सो लाइक रियली स्कैर्ड बिकॉज बिलीव मी, वो जंगल के बीच में उसका गाड़ी पूरा अटका हुआ है स्नो में. ना आगे कोई, ना पीछे कोई, ना माइल माइल तक कोई आदमी नहीं दिख रहा है. एंड इवन दैट ढाबा वाला हु हैड सीन अस गोइंग इन, ही इज लाइक कोई टूरिस्ट नहीं आ जाए, तुम कहाँ से आ गए, लाइक मतलब वैसी सिचुएशन में हम लोग थे. एंड सो द टैक्सी ड्राइवर इज ऑल्सो, लेट्स बेल, लेट्स गेट आउट ऑफ हियर क्विकली. एंड हम लोग को यार, हम लोग अब भी आए इसमें, तू बोल रहा है अभी चलो घर पे, दैट डज नॉट मेक सेंस टू मी. So for us, it was like, let's enjoy our time. We had scheduled our vacation. We had come here. So we enjoyed our time. And then after that, I think that something clicked. That time that we spent in the snow, I think it was really enjoyable. And it's like, you take that first risk. कि यार चलो करते हैं, let's see क्या होगा आगे जाके. So we had that thing, chalo, let's try it out. Yes, we were in a t-shirt, we were in a jeans, we were in like chappals, and we were not in any way, we were not prepared to walk on that much snow or in that kind of weather. But we said, "Chalo, try karte." And that's when we tried it. We walked, we walked. I still remember एक 2.5 घंटा चल दिया था ना. उसके बाद there is this big furry dog that joined us, एंड दीप्ति एंड आई वर शिट स्कैर्ड. मतलब वो डॉग की साइज देखो, ही वाज लाइक दैट जंबो भूतिया डॉग. मतलब वो डॉग, दैट डॉग इज लाइक अ वुल्फ. उतनी बड़ी साइज का वो डॉग था, एंड आउट ऑफ नोवेयर दैट डॉग कम्स बाय, and we were a little scared. I mean, sure, I'm a vegan and everything, doesn't mean that मैं किसी भी
You
डॉग,
will go
मतलब जो
and pet
आउट ऑफ द ब्लू आए
it.
उससे मैं फ्रेंडली हो जाऊंगा. एंड स्पेशली अ डॉग इन द वाइल्ड, इट वाज लाइक
Yeah.
थोड़ा डर लग रहा था. बट दैट डॉग टुक केयर ऑफ अस सो अमेजिंगली. मतलब जो लास्ट 1 घंटा का वो डॉग कॉन्स्टेंटली हमारे हमको सर्कल करके हमको लिटरली राइट डायरेक्शन में लेके जा रहा था, एंड
Wow.
कॉन्स्टेंटली वहां भाग के जा रहा था, यहाँ भाग के जा रहा था, नीचे भाग के जा रहा था. ही वाज लाइक almost like a guardian angel, sort of on that day. And finally, when we reached the top, I think दीप्ति, मैं और वो डॉग हमारे बाजू में बैठा था. एंड फॉर माइल्स एंड माइल्स, जहां तक नजर पड़े सिर्फ हम तीन थे. एंड पीस, क्वाइट, एंड दैट ट्रू हैप्पीनेस जो मैं इतने साल से मैं भी सर्च कर रहा था. मैं भी सर्च भी नहीं कर रहा था, बट कभी फील नहीं किया था. अचानक से यू फील समथिंग. So I think for me it was like that epiphany, that moment that this is amazing. I really just want to feel like this for the rest of my life. And I think it's that point is where the journey or the love for the mountain started. Saying that, okay, I'm not going to climb Everest or anything, but I really enjoy mountains, and I'm going to go to the mountains as much as possible. So that's sort of how the journey started.
So how that thought of climbing Everest came into your mind?
See, after that, I came back home, and I went on to many of such trips into the Himalaya. I went to Uttarakhand, I went to Himachal, I went to a fair bit of mountains across India, and I really, really enjoyed every single time. And if you're someone who's in the mountain world, at some point you will have that feeling of कि मुझे एवरेस्ट देखना है. Not like Everest करना है, but just Everest देखना है. So in that sense, I sort of said, okay, let's go search on internet. So I went and I searched on internet, and I figured out that there is something called an Everest base camp trek, and that you have to walk for about 11, 12 days to the base camp. And it's a really nice trip. It's a pretty costly trip because at that point I couldn't really find any cheaper agencies. But I thought, yaar, nahi, yaar, this is good. This is like, let's go see Everest, and maybe even think about climbing Everest. But that once I do this trip, I will figure that out. So went on that trip, and we landed in Kathmandu. Every day we were walking through the Everest Valley, and believe me, like this is the first time I was in middle of some really big mountains. I mean, इंडिया में भी बहुत बिग माउंटेन्स है, जैसे तुम लद्दाख में गए, जैसे हिमाचल में गए या उत्तराखंड में गए, बहुत बिग माउंटेन्स है. बट जब भी नेपाल में तुम एवरेस्ट वैली में होते हो ना, द बिग माउंटेन्स का स्केल इज अनबिलीवेबल. मतलब they are first of all so close to where you are walking. In Uttarakhand, in Himachal, you are always far off from the mountains.
Yeah.
As a tourist, if you are going to the places, whereas in on the Everest base camp trail, like you are bang in the middle of the mountain. मतलब हर दिन you are seeing these big mountains, and when you are at Everest base camp or a little before Everest base camp, everything is so close. तुम literally एक बोल के बीच में बैठे हो, और वो बोल सारा पहाड़ों से बना हुआ. So it was an
Wow.
amazing sort of a feeling. And I remember that evening. I mean, I have said this story so many times, but I remember that photo so distinctly. Like the sunset was happening on Everest, and I mean, I had seen sunsets as we were walking on the trail, and sunset happening on Everest itself, and they were all great sunsets. But this sunset was so close, लाइक एक शेरपा मेरा नाम चिल्ला रहा था, तो क्विकली रन आउट. एंड मैं क्यों चिल्ला रहे हो, लाइक इन द माउंटेन्स कोई नाम चिल्लाता है तो यू आर लिटिल स्कैर्ड, कुछ हो गया मे बी.
Yeah.
तो यू क्विकली लाइक रन आउट, एंड आई एम लुकिंग एट द शेरपा, एंड ही इज लाइक, सर आप एवरेस्ट को देखो. सो आई टर्न अराउंड एंड आई लुक एट एवरेस्ट, एंड the last rays of sunset are falling on Everest. Every other mountain is in the color of grey and blue, but Everest बीच में एकदम गोल्डन कलर का है, जैसे
Wow.
किसी ने पूरे स्नो पे है ना फायर लगा दिया. एंड मैंने जब भी वो सनसेट देखा ना, उस टाइम पे मैंने अपने आप को प्रॉमिस कर लिया that one day I'm going to come back and I'm going to climb to the top of this mountain. And as much as it's impossible it seems right now, I will most definitely come back one day and I'll climb this mountain. Of course, वो शेरपा मुझे क्यों चिल्ला रहा था, because that Sherpa knew that I was a team photographer and Sherpa ही है आके बाहर फोटो खींचो उनके अंदर बैठे हुए. So I'm like okay. So of course I took the picture of that scene, and it is also the first picture of my Instagram profile. It's the first post on my Instagram profile, and I truly think that that evening is where everything started. That evening is where my love for Everest started, and wanting to go on that journey started. So yeah,
Great, great, sir. And I've also heard that in childhood you had that fear of heights due to one incident. So can you please describe that incident and how you overcame that fear of height?
see, I think now I think you are lot younger, but हमारे टाइम में like जब भी मैं 6 7 स्टैंडर्ड में था, this was back in 92 93 again. Every time समर वेकेशन आता था तो लाइक पेरेंट्स वर कॉन्स्टेंटली थिंकिंग कहाँ भेज सकते हैं, क्या कर सकते हैं. अभी तो 50,000 एक्टिविटीज अवेलेबल है, पर हमारे टाइम में तो इतनी सारी एक्टिविटीज अवेलेबल नहीं थी. So one of this thing that used to happen in Mumbai was this Whiz Kids camp, and essentially this is just an outdoor camp of 7 8 days where you go, you learn skating, you learn rock climbing, you learn rappelling, you learn survival skills, you learn cooking, all those kinds of things where you sort of become this independent kind of a person. Uh, because sometimes you are like almost being too spoon fed by your teachers, by your
Yes.
parents. So ऐसा था ना that you are out in the wild, you are in the nature, you are in the outdoors and
Yes.
learning things. तो मेरे भी पेरेंट्स ने ऐसी ट्रिप पे मुझे भेज दिया और पहुंच तो गया मैं एंड काफी कुछ कर भी लिया वो ट्रिप पे. But then there was this day when we were supposed to, like, I think second last day था, you were supposed to climb up to the rock face and then rappel down. And I climbed up fine. And as I was rappelling down, if you know how rappelling happens, you essentially have to be like 90 degree on the wall. Your like legs have to be 90 degrees on the wall. You have to sort of just sit in your harness and slowly just walk down. It's like a it's like the simplest thing that you learn as part of mountaineering. Well, I did not understand the technique at all, and I was like really panicking and really just afraid. So मेरा technique पूरा गलत था, which meant that what happened is that instead of 90 degrees on the wall, I had actually become almost like SA. And
Oh.
at one point मैंने पैर नीचे किया ही नहीं, and मैंने हाथ नीचे ज्यादा कर दिया, तो I just banged on the wall. एंड मेरा सर नीचे था और मेरे पैर ऊपर थे और मेरा हाथ रोप पे से छूट गया था, विच मीन्स आई वाज जस्ट फ्री फॉलिंग डाउन
Oh.
and free falling down to my death. Because when you are at such speed with the ground being completely like this, तुम्हें दुनिया का कोई हेलमेट नहीं बचा सकता है. So
Yeah.
I was hurt badly on my so anyway, I was free falling to the ground, and luckily this instructor saw that and he braked the fall from below. Like, अगर मैंने मेरा हाथ छोड़ दिया तो someone from below can tighten the rope, and that would still be okay. So that's how he sort of saved my life. But what that did is that put a lot of fear in my mind, that fear of heights. So essentially, every time I was standing on like top of something and I would look down, it would just give me the chills. And at some point in my life, I also sort of figured out that the fear of something can also give you a lot of adrenaline rush. So this was when I was in the United States, and I thought, yeah, I fear heights. Maybe the very first thing that I should go and do is I should go and do a bungee jump. And so I went and I bungee jumped in the United States, and you can someday I will share that video. Uh, I think in that video I must have said like fuck 50 times minimum at least. I think that guy who was like throwing me down, he must have gotten so scared that इसको कुछ हो गया है बंदे को. So anyway, I think again bungee jump was just something that I did out of the whim, but eventually once I found mountaineering, I think it got to a point where I realized that if I had to climb Everest, then I had to get over my fear of heights. That is really critical that I do that, and I had to understand how to do that. So I thought, okay, I fear heights, but I need to learn a certain skills. So why not let's try and learn the certain skills first. So I signed up for a mountaineering course in the Everest Valley itself, and I had to climb this about 200 feet big rock wall. So as always, climbing is never a problem because if you are not seeing down, you're just seeing up and you are going up fine.
Yeah,
So
correct.
I climbed up fine. I reached the top of the wall, and the moment I looked down the wall, and I realized that I have to go down 200 feet, and I have to rappel down. I started thinking about that same incident in 10th standard that if I make any mistake, वहां तो बच गया यहाँ मैं मर जाऊंगा.
Yeah,
That wall was 20 feet, this is 200 feet. So that's sort of a lot of things were going on in my mind. So my turn came to rappel, and I went to my instructor and I said, can I go down from some other way? Is there some other way to go down? And the instructor is, this is the easiest way to go down. Every other way, the faces are much tougher. So this is your only bet. And I had to rappel down that face myself. And I started sort of rappelling down. And I started making exactly the same mistake. जैसे ऐसे था ना, तो ऐसे हो रहा था, ऐसे हो रहा था. I was never in the perfect position, and a lot of panic, a lot of fear, everything was going through my mind. And I remember at that point, my expedition leader Tim Rippel, he shouted very loudly, "Kuntal, if you don't focus, you are going to fucking die!" Like he shouted so loud that everyone, everywhere on that entire face could listen to this. And you know, 2 सेकंड एक झटका लगा मुझे,
yes,
and वो झटका लगा, and then I was like, until then, it was all chaos, it was all panic, it was all fear. And then that chaos, panic, and fear gave way to this amazingly calm state. And in that state, I was actually able to think straight. He said that just follow my instructions and you will get down fine. And whatever instructions he was giving, I was just following them step by step, and I just got down fine. And that's what I realized is the blueprint to overcoming fear is that number one, whatever you fear, first of all, please go and do that very same thing. And when you go and do that very same thing, you will understand how your mind and how your body operates in that situation. And that is the time where you really need to figure out what is your strategy going to be. Like for me, even today, 10 years later, if I am on a tough wall, maybe I may be a little scared, but I know that that will be a very temporary feeling. It will give way to a really nice, calm state. And in that calm state, I will be able to make decisions. And so I just need to be patient, and I need to be patient for that calm state to come. Like I can't make decisions when I'm in chaos. I can't make decisions when I'm in panic. And this is not just something that I think we should do when we are confronted by fears, but I think this is we should do in your even our regular day-to-day life. Because sometimes we make decisions
100%.
बहुत गुस्से में आके, बहुत इमोशनल होके, बहुत डर में आके. इंस्टेड आई थिंक वो सारे इमोशंस आने दो, प्रोसेस करो उनको, लेट देम गो बाय,
Go
and
by.
when you are calm and composed, I think it's at that point you should be making your decisions. And believe me, it takes a lot of effort. Even for me today, it takes a lot of effort to get into that state and make my decisions in that state. But every decision I have made in that state, that decision has been really amazing. Of course, I didn't make climbing Everest decision in that state. When I decided to climb Everest, I was in that state of complete euphoria. So I think my wife would definitely complain about that state. So again, I think overcoming fears is all about confronting your fears. So I think that's really, really important. Confronting your fears and understanding how your brain, mind, heart, everything works, and then making it a second nature. Practicing it so much that वो fear है, but you can manage that fear. So that's I think what the idea is.
100%. And also, when you are climbing Everest, you need to be very fit physically and mentally. So, as you said that you were 100 plus kgs in past. So, how did you gain the physical fitness and mental fitness to be able to climb Mount Everest?
See two things: physical fitness and mental fitness. Physical fitness for mountaineering or physical fitness even for general life or physical fitness for any goal. Believe me, physical fitness at least has a blueprint. Maybe you get a mentor, you get a trainer, and that trainer will train you. तुमने YouTube पे जाके कोई वीडियो देख लिया, वहां से सेल्फ ट्रेनिंग किया. See, physical fitness में as long as you have some plan and that you follow that plan in a disciplined and a consistent fashion for a very long period of time, I can guarantee you on a stamp paper that you will become physically fit. Okay. That is how you are going to get your physical fitness. It may be for mountaineering, may it be for any athletics you want to get into, may be for anything. Let's say अगर आपको साइकिलिंग करना है और आपने डिसाइड किया कि मैं भी आज से साइकिलिंग करना शुरू करूंगा. You can do this experiment on yourself. Day one तुम 15 मिनट में मे बी 5 किलोमीटर साइकिलिंग करोगे. पर अगर तुमने 6 महीने तक लगातार साइकिलिंग की, I can assure you that in 15 minutes you will cycle for 15 kilometers. Again, I'm just giving some sample numbers. These numbers may not be true, but you get my point.
Correct.
That physical fitness is some rocket science नहीं है. Like a lot of people will make you believe that physical fitness is rocket science. कोई rocket science नहीं. If you have the right mentor, the right coach, maybe the right guide, physical fitness achieve करना doable है. I'm not saying easy है. I'm saying doable है. You will still require the consistency. You will still require the discipline. You will still require मतलब सब कुछ ठीक से करो. Mental fitness is a different ballgame. But when it comes to climbing Everest, what I tell everyone is that foundation physical fitness है. तुम्हारे बिल्डिंग का फाउंडेशन अच्छा होगा ना, तो अगर कोई अर्थक्वेक होगा ना तो तुम्हारा बिल्डिंग गिर नहीं जाएगा. और अगर तुम्हारे तुम्हारे बिल्डिंग का ढांचा ही ठीक नहीं है ना, तो तुम्हारा वो बिल्डिंग कभी भी गिर जाएगा. सो क्रिएट एन अमेजिंग फाउंडेशन. And that foundation is a good combination of physical fitness, and that foundation is a combination of skills. क्योंकि if you are not a good mountaineer, if you don't even understand basics of mountaineering, like तुम्हें ये भी नहीं पता है कि rope किसको बोलते हैं, तुम्हें ये भी नहीं पता है ascender किसको बोलते हैं, fixed line किसको बोलते हैं, harness किसको बोलते हैं, belaying किसको बोलते हैं, तुमने जिंदगी में कभी वो कुछ किया नहीं है. How are you going to climb a mountain, right? So a combination of physical fitness and skills will give you a solid foundation. Mental fitness बहुत आगे जाके काम आएगा. Of course, mental fitness थोड़ा बहुत होगा तो वो तुम्हें ये सारी जर्नीज में हेल्प करेगा. बट कभी कभी है ना, ये एक दूसरे से मिल जाता है. कभी कभी तुम अपने आप को फिजिकल फिटनेस में पुश करते हो ना, तो यू बिकम मेंटली फिटर. एंड लाइक आई mental fitness का कोई blueprint नहीं है. So I don't want to get into a long sort of discourse about how to be mentally fit or anything. But one of the starting points of me building mental fitness was building it through physical fitness. It was essentially around pushing myself really, really hard in my physical fitness to sort of build that mental edge. Because when you are doing a certain kind of a workout, and when you know that you are close to almost knackered or dying in that workout, your body doesn't have anything more to give to that workout. But at that time, you sort of use that trick of your mind telling your body कि यार करो और 10 मिनट करो, and then you following through and actually doing it, maybe failing the first time, maybe failing the second time, maybe failing the third time, but by the time it's fourth time, somehow you have physically become fitter, which means that you will be able to pull off that fourth time. But it almost gives your brain this false sense that यार brain ने बोला इसके लिए body ने किया. And then you sort of just compound that effect and you just start doing it more and more and more. So I feel that one of the big edges that I've gotten is through my physical fitness journey, is how I built my mental fitness. Of course, there's a lot more to mental fitness. A lot of it is about experiencing different conditions. Like a lot of times मुझे लोग बोलते हैं, I mean, experience इतना important नहीं है. तुमने जिंदगी में कभी snowstorm bear ही नहीं किया. If you have never been inside a tent for 10 days together and बाहर स्नो गिर रहा है, तुम हर 2-3 घंटे में बाहर आके स्नो को निकाल रहे हो अपने टेंट से, तुम्हारा खाना खत्म होने लगा है, तुम्हारा सब कुछ खत्म होने लगा है, यू आर नॉट स्टक, तुम ना ऊपर चढ़ जा सकते हो ना नीचे जा सकते हो, तुम फंसे हुए हो टोटल. If you have never ever experienced that condition, how are you even going to do that when it happens to you at 28,000 feet or 29,000 feet or Everest? You simply don't have that mental capacity to adjust to that fact. So I feel experience also adds a lot to your mental fitness, because as you experience a lot more and more while climbing, while you're training, you sort of your brain adapts. Your brain is really amazing. It adapts. It becomes better. It becomes stronger. तो जैसे फिजिकल स्टैमिना बनाते हो तुम कैसे फिजिकल स्टैमिना बनाते हो वैसे तुम मेंटल स्टैमिना भी बनाओगे. आई मीन स्टैमिना तो स्टैमिना है, फिजिकल का भी सेम है, मेंटल का भी सेम है.
Yes,
कोई चीज को बहुत बार करोगे
100%.
और इम्प्रूव होते रहोगे ना उसमें. ऐसा ही नहीं है कि मैं अपनी माँ के पेट से कोई मेंटल फिटनेस लेके पैदा हुआ था. आई मीन ऐसा होता तो आई वुड हैव बीन अमेजिंग, बट ऐसा नहीं हुआ था, राइट. सो आई हैड टू आल्सो सॉर्ट ऑफ गो ऑन दिस जर्नी एंड बिल्ड दैट मेंटल फिटनेस. A lot of people will make you believe that माँ के पेट से मेंटल फिटनेस आता है. नहीं आता है माँ के पेट से. सॉरी, दैट्स नॉट हाउ इट वर्क्स.
Correct, 100%. Uh, and also, how your journey of veganism started? Because in Gujarati family, we all are born vegetarian, and converting vegan from that is generally very tough. So, how that journey happened?
See, it was we are vegetarians because we truly want to care for animals. We truly love animals. And that is the reason why we don't eat meat. क्योंकि meat is a part of a dead animal. तो किसी animal को मारा, उसका body part को लिया और उसको खाया. So that
Correct.
entire act of violence thing that vegetarians are against. I think which is why a lot of us are vegetarians. Unfortunately, a lot of them are vegetarians maybe for no reason. Just because their family is vegetarian, they are vegetarian. Luckily for a lot of us, our families are told why we are vegetarian. For me, my case, my family told why we are vegetarian, that we are that we want to take care of animals. But when I was in the US, I also made the connection that as vegetarians, we are continuing to contribute to equal amounts of cruelty, if not more, when compared to a non-vegetarian. तो यार वो मेरे लिए जिंदगी में सबसे बड़ा शॉकिंग रेवलेशन था. सडनली आई रियलाइज दैट यार मैं
Correct.
कोई नॉन वेजिटेरियन से बेटर नहीं. नॉन वेजिटेरियन भी मेरे जितना ही एनिमल को क्रूरटी कर रहा है, मैं भी एज अ वेजिटेरियन उतना ही क्रूरटी कर रहा हूँ. तो मेरे और नॉन वेजिटेरियन के बीच में डिफरेंस है. I connected the dots that a piece of beef is equal to that piece of glass of milk that I was drinking, was equal to the piece of cheese I was eating, and was equal to the leather belt that I was wearing. And the moment I connected those dots, that dairy equal to beef, I had to take a stand. And for me, taking that stand was essentially saying that I was going to go vegan. So from that point onwards, it is essentially how my vegan journey started, and it is completely around my wanting to stand up for the animal rights cause and for the animal liberation. And that I truly believe that animals are
Okay.
not here on this planet for us to use, abuse, rape, slaughter, or do anything. एनिमल्स
Mhm.
हमारे साथ प्लानट शेयर कर रहे हैं, हमारे लिए नहीं है. जैसे काफी लोग बोलते हैं कि एनिमल्स तो हमारे लिए ही आए. हमारे लिए नहीं आए एनिमल्स. कभी भी है ना, किसी गाय को है ना, कोई फार्मर जब भी उसका दूध निकाल रहा है ना, तो देखना कि वो गाय कितनी सैड होती है. कभी कभी मुझे लोग बोलते हैं, अरे हम तो हमारी गाय को खाना देते हैं, हमने तो खुद ही गाय पाल के रखी है, हम तो लोकल गाय से सब कुछ लेते हैं. फिर भी तुम बछड़े को साइड में करते हो और दूध अपने लिए निकालते हो. कि क्या जरूरत है उसका.
Correct.
बछड़े को दे दो ना पूरा दूध अच्छे से.
Mhm.
And
Correct.
remember, every mother only produces enough milk that is enough for its offspring. जैसे जब भी ह्यूमन में बच्चा पैदा होता है, तो माँ ऐसा कुछ नहीं कि ज्यादा मिल्क प्रोड्यूस कर रही है जिसके वजह से वो अपना मिल्क किसी को जाके बेच सके. ऐसा कभी होता नहीं. ओके.
Correct. 100%.
The reason why today's cows are producing way more milk is because we are injecting them with too many hormones and too many injections, जिसके वजह से वो लोग बहुत ज्यादा मिल्क दे रही है.
Correct.
So I think we have forgotten to take care of animals. हमने हर चीज में अपने आप को सबसे ऊपर कर दिया है. और उसमें हम भूल गए कि एनिमल्स भी हमारे जैसे ही है, उनकी भी फैमिली है, उनको भी लव करना है, उनको भी वही करना है जो हमें करना है. So I think just for that reason, I will always be a vegan for my entire life.
And also, sir, when people say that कि मैं गाय को खिलाता हूँ and that all, but we are not owner of that गाय की and we are not doing any special service to that cow कि मैं इसको खिला रहा हूँ. Cow is made to share planet with us. If you are ruining their environment, if you are ruining their habitat, then it naturally becomes our responsibility to feed them, to take care of them.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. I somehow sometimes feel that domestication was a huge mistake on human beings' part, and that's a huge root cause of our problem. I mean, imagine today the domestic animal agriculture industry is responsible for gigantic lands of forest being converted into crops, huge amount of contribution to the methane gas emissions, huge amount of contribution to biodiversity loss, water loss, food loss. I mean, हमारी मिस्टेक है, हमने ये मिस्टेक की है, एंड फिर दोष हम हमेशा एनिमल्स को देते हैं. एनीवे, आई थिंक ये बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड टॉपिक है.
Yes, I will surely do another podcast on this topic, especially.
श्योर श्योर.
Uh, and moving on to next question, many people when they decide to climb Mount Everest, they generally tend to change their diet. If they are vegetarian, they go non-vegetarian, or they are not up to what diet they were following, and they are not sure about their diet as well. Many cases I have searched that many people have changed from vegetarian to non-vegetarian just to climb Everest. So, how did you were very sure that I want to be vegan and vegan diet will help me to achieve enough amount of fitness to reach to Mount Everest summit?
See, I did not think in that way at all. For me, it was very clear. I have to climb Everest and I have to climb it as a vegan. अगर I start climbing the mountains and if during the initial journey I figure out that as a vegan नहीं होने वाला है, then I will back out and I will not climb Everest. Then I will be happy with whatever other passion that I find out and I will follow that. So वो में बहुत clarity था. And that clarity I think is very important, and that clarity helps in not falling into this trap of changing your diet or doing something else. I think most people who convert from vegetarian to eating a lot of non-vegetarian food, I don't think they were vegetarians to begin with. I think वो लोग कुछ खाना खाते थे क्योंकि उनको घर में उनके मम्मी पापा वो खाना खिलाते थे.
Yeah,
To them,
they are,
diet is
yeah,
that to them animals don't matter. To them animals are just something. जैसे हमारे प्लेट पे कैसे कैबेज का पीस पड़ा है, तो उनके लिए जब भी कोई एनिमल अपने प्लेट पे पड़ा है तो उनके लिए वो इट्स नो डिफरेंट देन अ पीस ऑफ कैबेज. तो वो लोग उसको लाइफ की तरह नहीं देख रहे. फ्रैंकली स्पीकिंग अ लॉट ऑफ देम, तो अगर मुझे लगे ना कि मैं बोल दूं ना उनको कि तुम कुत्ता को खा के खा एवरेस्ट अच्छे से चढ़ोगे ना, आई कैन गारंटी यू दैट वो लोग कुत्ता को मार के खा जाएंगे. तो मतलब वो एटीट्यूड होता है उनका. To them, their dream is the biggest and the most important thing in life. It doesn't matter कि तुमने कौन से एनिमल को मारा, कैसे मारा, क्या मारा. वो उनसे उनके कोई मतलब ही नहीं है उस चीज से. Which is why they would be willing to eat anything that walks so that they can go and climb Everest. To me, it was different. To me, it was a journey driven by veganism. And again, for everyone tuning in and maybe for everyone who watches this later on, I truly believe that veganism or vegan diet is not a hindrance at all in climbing mountains. Today, we have enough vegan athletes across the world in diverse disciplines, right from footballers to basketballers to F1 world champion to ultra marathon world champion to 100-meter run world champion to the strongest man in the world to mountain climbers. मतलब कोई भी स्पोर्ट देख लो दुनिया का, कोई भी स्पोर्ट देख लो,
100%.
वीगन्स हर स्पोर्ट में अच्छा कर रहे हैं. और अभी तो वीगन की
Correct.
क्वांटिटी भी कितनी छोटी है. इमेजिन अगर वीगन ज्यादा बढ़ जाए तो प्रैक्टिकली मैं बोलता हूं तो हर स्पोर्ट ओवररन हो जाएगा विद वीगन एथलीट इन माय ओपिनियन.
Yes, yes, yes.
I personally, I think diet plays a huge role. At the same time, I believe it is your training, It is your overall package, your training, your experience, your skills. तुमने सब कैसे किया है, उसके साथ खाना, how you are sleeping, how you are recovering, how you are hydrating, what's your mental status, what's your mental fitness. There's so much that goes behind building a rockstar athlete. तो ऐसा ही नहीं है कि हाँ अभी मैं सडनली ब्रोकोली खाऊंगा और मैं कल वीगन सुपरमैन बन के एवरेस्ट चढ़ जाऊंगा, ऐसा होता तो यार सब नहीं करते. सो
Correct.
देयर इज नो शॉर्टकट हियर, देयर इज नो गोल्डन बुलेट. ऐसा नहीं है कि तुम वीगन खाना खाओगे तो तुम्हारे जिंदगी के सारे प्रॉब्लम सॉल्व हो जाएंगे. नहीं. If you want to become an athlete, it's a much tougher process, much harder process, and it requires time, it requires effort, it requires consistency, it requires discipline. So ये सारे का combination will make you a top athlete.
100%. Uh, and also, I just want to add something that even if a person wants to pursue their dreams, they at least before doing it practically, before going for training, they should at least plot what ethics they are going to follow. Because ऐसे ही अगर चले जाओगे, then even you can be uh, fooled during training if your trainer is not 100% knowledgeable.
Yep, completely agree.
Uh, and moving on to next question, sir. Going into Mount Everest, many people have heard that many deaths and dead bodies are being shown in many places. So, what were your experience with death in your Mount Everest journey?
See, I think dead bodies are reality on Everest, and I have heard about dead bodies quite a bit of times. On the south side in May 2016, I did not run into a single dead body because from May 4th there was a big snowstorm on the mountain. So around May 11th तक बहुत सारा snow आ गया, which meant that all the dead bodies जो mountain पे थे वो सारे ढक गए snow से. So even if I walked over a dead body, I would have not known that I was walking over a dead body. But then I remember this climb on Lhotse. Now Lhotse the summit day is very steep, and when you reach the final summit, there's a big 40 feet rock wall that you have to climb. So I reached the summit of मतलब वो summit के नीचे का rock wall में पहुंच गया, and I turned around towards my right, and there was this guy who was just sitting like this. एंड फॉर अ मोमेंट आई थॉट यार पहला ही बंदा मैं हूँ, मेरे पहले कौन है इधर. तो निकला ही मैं हूँ, पहुंचा ही पहले मैं हूँ यार यहाँ टॉप पे, मेरे आगे कोई था ही नहीं. And then as I closely looked at that guy, I realized that was a dead body, and I was like so like
Oh,
मतलब मैं 40 फीट दूर हूँ मेरे टॉप पे पहुंचने से, और यहाँ मेरे सामने डेड बॉडी बैठा है. एंड मतलब ऐसे बैठा था जैसा लगता है कि लाइव आदमी है, तो थोड़ा मतलब बहुत डर गया था मैं थोड़े सेकंड के लिए. एंड देन आई एम लाइक बॉस, एनी मिस्टेक हियर ऑन रोड से. मतलब लोटसे का समिट ऐसा है ना कि एक आदमी खड़ा रह सकता है लोटसे के समिट में, और अगर लोटसे की समिट से गिरे ना तो डेड बॉडी ना सीधा टैंक में मिलेगा. एंड दिस इज अ रियल स्टोरी. In 2016, one Sherpa guide fell from the summit of Lhotse. Literally everyone from Camp 4, Camp 3 and Camp 2 saw his body. मतलब गुलाटे गुलाटे मार के वो नीचे तक गिरा.
oh,
हर everyone, it happened in public eye. So many people saw that happening. तो मतलब बहुत बहुत difficult death होगा. So I was like, man, let's focus, let's get to the top. And then इस साल एवरेस्ट में भी पिछले साल 2019 I think 11 dead bodies है route पे. I was of course not paying so much attention. I personally think I saw about 3 or 4 dead bodies, two of them very clearly, but I was not paying attention. I think मेरा ऐसा सोचना था that you just have to focus on the path.
correct.
ज्यादा मत देखो डेड बॉडी को, don't let yourself get psyched. Uh, this is the reality of climbing. If things go wrong, things can go wrong. So हो सकता है ये सब. But I was like नहीं यार, focus करते हैं. Let's get to the top. That's the focus, and let's get back down safely, one piece without dying. So इनिशियल जो डेड बॉडी दिखा वो देखा, पर उसके बाद अगर कुछ दिख रहा था यार शेरपा अगर कुछ बोल रहा, एक्चुअली मैंने शेरपा को बोल भी रहा था कि तुम्हें गिनना है तो गिनो डेड बॉडी, मुझे मत बताना, मैं फोकस करके जा रहा हूँ.
Yeah.
आई रिमेम्बर कोई पूछ भी रहा था क्वेश्चन में कि स्टेप 2 और स्टेप 3 का एक्सपीरियंस कैसा था. I was on top of step 3 and step 3 के top जैसे ही आप step 3 के ऊपर पहुंचते हो ना, step 3 is about I would say 150 feet below the summit of Everest on the Tibet side, and it's a tough rock wall. तो उसके ऊपर जैसे ही पहुंचा ना, the moment I got up किसी के पैर है ना जमीन पे पड़े, और उसका बॉडी आगे है तो उसके बॉडी पे थोड़ा स्नो ढका हुआ है तो उसके पैर ओपन में पड़े। सो यार वो बॉडी मैंने देखा, मैंने बोला यार छोड़ो यार, ज्यादा सोचना, अभी इधर ही पहुंच गया हूँ मैं, लेट्स लाइक आई एम लाइक मिनिमम, लेट्स लेट्स गो, यू नो, लेट्स फोकस। तो काफी काफी होता है ये सब, बट आई थिंक इट्स अप टू यू हाउ यू टेक इट। My personal recommendation to everyone is don't let it impact you too much, and just focus on your climb, just get to the top and back down.
Correct, 100%. And also, when you became the first vegan, you tried twice before that in 2014 and 2016 in Mount Everest. So what were those experiences when you came back before without reaching the summit? And what?
See, 2014, I think 17 Sherpa guys ended up dying in a section called the Khumbu Icefall. And I think at that point the mountain was deemed unsafe, so the expedition was cancelled. 2015 was, of course, a gigantic earthquake that happened in Nepal, a
Yeah.
7.9 magnitude
And you
earthquake.
were also there in one video which went viral.
Right, right, right. So I was right in middle of the earthquake and the avalanche that happened. Again, a narrow escape. मतलब, we were less than 3 seconds away from dying, and मतलब मैंने तो I had to given up. I had to told all my prayers and I was ready to, like go and I mean no one wants to die, of course. Who wants to die? But when the death is so certain, you can't really help it. तो वो तो मैंने I given up. So again, luckily we survived death in that incident. And something that I again share with everyone is that from that moment onwards, rest of my life has been a bonus. Because उस दिन तो मैं मर चुका था, मतलब for all practical purposes I was dead. बचा हूँ, and this is a sort of a second life, and you sort of can't waste your second life. So I think that's the sort of attitude I have been living with since that day. Unfortunately, 10,000 people died in Nepal, 5 lakh people were homeless, and 21 died at the base camp, 70, 80 were injured. So I think tough 2 years on the mountain, tough 2 years for Nepal, tough 2 years for everyone, I think. Uh,
Yes.
but it is what it is. It's mountains and it's nature and it's outdoors and it's life. Things will always happen. You have to stay on track. You can't give up. To me, it was important to not give up because it was my dream. Uh, so stayed on track. Went back in 2016 and finally reached the top.
And also, I've heard that in 2016, while you were climbing, there was also an avalanche, and you were like, uh, I mean, you also said in one video that you were lucky for the third time, and you were lucky very enough that you were able to climb the Mount Everest.
This time we were in middle of the ice wall. So we were crossing ladders.
Okay.
And I just crossed my ladder and I was on the other side of the ladder. And just above us there was this big boom. And a big boom, of course, denotes an avalanche coming. Now, we are in a section where you can't see the boom, where that boom is. You can hear the voice, so you think it's coming for you, but of course you can't see what's coming your way. So my Sherpa said, ऐसे करके बस नीचे बैठ जाओ साइड में. So I left everything and I was like, मैं ऐसे करके बैठ गया था. I was like, okay, इधर आएगा तो हमारे हाथ में क्या है, मैं तो किधर, I can't jump in a crevasse. If I jump in a crevasse, I die before the avalanche comes. So that doesn't make any sense. So because see, if there's a smaller crevasse, maybe you can still maybe go in a crevasse, go a little further, try and find out a space. But time भी नहीं होता ऐसे situation. You have very little time to react. And then this boom का जो पूरा flow था ना, वो हमारे से 10-15 फीट दूर से निकल गया. तो मतलब ये हुआ ना कि वापस जैकपॉट लग गया. तुम पहाड़ चढ़ने गए, तुम वापस एक एवलांच के बीच में हो. तो थर्ड ईयर इन द रनिंग आई एम इन एन एवलांच सिचुएशन, एंड And again, you are coming out alive. So I was like, okay, third time be lucky that. So after that, luckily, avalanches have not been part of my expeditions. I've been a lot more luckier than that. Yeah.
So, is there any plan to climb Mount Everest for the third time in future?
No, there's no plan to climb Everest for the third time. The plan is to hopefully put together a team of vegan climbers, train them, support them with their nutrition needs, support them with their logistics needs, support them with everything, support them with leadership. And the idea is to put them on top of Everest while me not climbing.
Great. Wow.
So my idea would be to maybe be at base camp or maybe be at camp two and sort of just maybe oversee the expedition. That's what my idea is. Uh, Again, a lot of this idea is in my mind. I have to in some way formalize the idea, put it out because I really want the vegan climbers to sign up, write to me, uh, go through that training with me, go through the nutrition tuning with me, and do all that. And my hope is that if I can maybe float the idea in next 1 or 2 months, then try and maybe target September, spring of 2023. Maybe that's aggressive, or maybe spring of 2024. So that's what I would like to sort of think to maybe build a vegan team. Because कभी कभी क्या होता है ना, people always look at me and say यार तुम एक vegan हो, तुमने एवरेस्ट चढ़ा
Yeah.
है, you एक ही हो. So when I try to say यार मैंने तो कर लिया, तो they are like एक ही हो, एक से कुछ एक सैंपल साइज से कुछ नहीं होता. So I feel that अगर एक पूरा team while that training is vegan, while on the mountain is vegan, while being on the top is vegan, then that sort of helps debunking a lot of myths. Then you know that 10
100%.
people made it to the top of Everest. They were all vegan. They had trained as vegans. They climbed as vegans. So काफी अच्छा हो जाता है. So that's my aspiration, but we will see how things go.
So all the very best to you, sir, for your aspiration, and we hope we'll get bunch of vegan Everest vegan person who have summited Everest. And also, when these two unsuccessful, I won't say unsuccessful, but you weren't able to summit the Everest. So, what were the people saying? Because many a times when we don't achieve, we say that I'm going to do this, but unfortunately, it doesn't happen. Then people start telling you that tumse nahi hoga. So, what was that, and how you overcame those people, and then gone and achieved your success?
See, people तो बोलने ही वाले हैं. वो सॉन्ग है ना, लोगों का काम है कहना. I think people are. I
100%.
think we all. It's not just. I'm not talking about. When I say people, I also include me. Sometimes all of us get into this phase of judging everyone else and judging their dreams. Even I am.
100%.
Even I have done that in my life sometimes. But of course, तुम अगर लोग का सोच के अपना ड्रीम छोड़ देने वाले हो, तो पहले तो उसकी विन होगी, नंबर वन. नॉट दैट उसके विन या उसके लॉस की हमें पड़ी है. आई समटाइम्स उसको भी नहीं पड़ी है, वो तो बोलने के लिए बोल के निकल गया. But if that impacted you so much that you gave up on your dream, or that it impacted you emotionally so much that it derailed your focus, I think the loss is yours. So this is also some aspect of your mental training where you have to just, I mean, this is part and parcel of any Everest journey that you go on. There will be
100%.
many who will come and tell you impossible. There will be many who will come and tell you many, many things. I heard many, many things. And वो सबको सुनो, सबको इग्नोर करो. अगर ऐसी मेंटल फिटनेस बना सकते हो कि उनको सुनो भी नहीं, मतलब मुंडी हिला रहे हो बट सुन भी नहीं रहे हो, आई थिंक दैट वुड बी नेक्स्ट लेवल मेंटल फिटनेस. कि काफी बोलते हैं ना, एक कान से निकाल के दूसरे कान से ये करो, दूसरा बोलता है कि ऊपर से जाने दो. मैं बोलता हूँ कि यहाँ आने मत दो कि ऊपर से भी जाने ना देना पड़े, यहाँ से भी ना निकालना, यहाँ से आके सीधा रिबाउंड होके निकल जाए. तो सो वैसी फिटनेस बना लो. Because look, you know that your dream, you know that you are putting in that effort. कोई कंस्ट्रक्टिवली क्रिटिसाइज कर रहा है तो उसको प्लीज सुनो. तो वो फिगर आउट भी करना है कि कैसे तुम्हें कंस्ट्रक्टिव क्रिटिसिज्म और खाली बोलने वालों के बीच में कैसे डिफरेंस करना है,
Yes,
तो वो बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है.
100%.
एंड लुक, ऐसा से बोलने वाले बोलेंगे. इफ यू हैव फुल फेथ इन योर ट्रेनिंग, इफ यू हैव फेथ इन योर सेल्फ, And if you are focused on your dream, this is all just noise. Ignore the noise and move forward in your dream.
Great. Wow, sir. Actually, okay. So, sir, how was this podcast? Because I am just starting now in this podcasting journey.
Wish you the very best. And again, for all the viewers tuning in, really appreciate everyone tuning in and spending time. And again, just as I was sort of mentioning that I tried climbing in 14, failed. So I tried climbing in 15, failed, but went back in 16, got to the top. So one thing, when you are on your Everest journey, ensure that you don't give up. In spite of what anyone is saying, in spite of what is happening, stay on track, stay focused, ट्रेनिंग करते रहो, एक्सपीरियंस बढ़ाते रहो, फिटनेस बढ़ाते रहो. Uh, it's just that when you are ready to give up, you are this close to your dream, this close to achieving your dream. तो वो लास्ट मोमेंट पे बस गिव अप मत करना, थोड़ा और पुश कर लेना. और फिर नहीं भी हुआ तो इट्स नॉट लाइक इट्स सम एंड ऑफ द वर्ल्ड काइंड ऑफ अ थिंग. और बहुत ड्रीम है दुनिया में, किसी और ड्रीम को चेस करना. एटलीस्ट एक मन में सेटिस्फाई तो कर लिया अपने आप को कि मैंने 500% एफर्ट डाला, फिर नहीं हुआ तो मैं भी कोई दूसरा ड्रीम चेज कर रहा हूँ. सो आई थिंक दैट वुड बी द आइडिया. दैट वुड बी माई पार्टिंग मैसेज फॉर एवरीवन.
100%. Thank you so much, sir, for joining me in this podcast. I hope you enjoyed.
Yes, 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 absolutely.
Yes. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. Bye bye.
Bye.